2-year-olds are learning to be independent. This is sometimes a difficult time for parents because their child still needs a lot of guidance.
Do you want the blue one or the orange one?
2-year-olds are not always able to explain what they need and may not know what will happen if they do certain things. Parents need to guide their child towards safe and positive choices. 2-year-olds are just beginning to learn how to control their emotions and deal with frustrations. When parents deal with conflict in a calm way, they are showing their child how to do so.
Okay, so can I use the phone, please?
Sure, please.
All right.
With some guidance, 2-year-olds can begin to learn how to solve small problems and how to manage their frustrations.
By the time your toddler becomes 2, he or she is learning now how to manage his emotions much better. They're beginning to understand the idea that there are actually some rules and some limits that have to be followed. They're now more independent. They have a stronger sense of themselves as a separate person from you, their parent. They're also much more verbal, so they're able to express themselves using words versus using just actions or their behavior. When you're parenting a child as young as 2, you want to be right in there with your child, guiding their behavior, having lots of really rich conversations about the world that they're seeing, what they're experiencing, how they're feeling about it. Also talking to them about behavior that's appropriate, inappropriate. You're starting to talk about things that are safe, things that are dangerous. And through those conversations and by spending time playing with your child and being with your child, you're actually influencing your child's behavior through every interaction. You're modeling for them and you're giving them different strategies to actually interact with their environment. Some parents might wonder why children even have temper tantrums. Why can't they just come and tell them when they're upset? This area of development, the ability to understand and then actually manage your emotions, is one that takes many, many years to develop in our brains. So for that 2-year-old, when those emotions are overwhelming, they're really lost. They don't know what to do. And a temper tantrum is a default position for them. It's their way of shouting out to you or anybody who's in their world, I need some help with what I'm feeling. I don't know what to do with it. If you get upset, that is likely going to upset your child even more, and now it's going to be a more difficult situation to deal with. Often children will have their temper tantrums in the most difficult of places for us as parents, so the grocery store. And it is so tempting to just get upset and tell them to stop. And I'm going to really encourage parents to count to 10 first and calm yourself down, and to realize that by you being calm in that moment when your child is not, your child is actually going to be able to move to that place of being calm much quicker. The next thing is you want to be there physically close to your child to help them calm down. When a child has a temper tantrum, they're overwhelmed by what they're feeling. They need you to step in and to help them make sense of those emotions. So even though it's not the best time, may not even be physically the best kind of space, get close to your child, help them calm down, and then have the conversation about what's happened. Some parents may be familiar with the concept of timeout, and I'm going to suggest timeout is probably better replaced with time in. When a child misbehaves, putting them on a chair or in a separate room, asking them or expecting them to think about what they did wrong, this is very, very difficult for most young children. They actually don't have the capacity to do this by themselves. So instead of time out, shift this to time in. And when your child misbehaves, you're actually going to move into a space with your child now, have them calm down, and begin to have the conversation about what happened. What did they do that was inappropriate or created an issue? What could they do differently? And you're going to help them think that through. Some parents might use timeout in a very threatening way. If you do that, you're going to get a timeout. I'm going to encourage parents to instead distract your child. Talk about, I know you want to do that, but instead of doing that, let's think about something else that we can do. It's critical that you provide your child with a routine every day. Knowing that when I wake up in the morning, I get up, I brush my teeth, I have my breakfast, and I go to daycare. When I come home, I have a snack, I sit and read a book with mommy, and then we get dinner ready. This is important for a child. So making sure that these events are happening in a predictable sequence and in the same sequence every day is really going to help your child feel more secure and be able to predict what comes next. And now he knows what you're expecting from him next, which is also important in terms of managing his behavior. Let's take a look at what happens when this dad takes his little girl to the park.
All right, we're going to the park.
It's interesting that she's so anxious and so focused on just getting to the park that she's ready to run across the street.
Nia Sky, what do we do when we're crossing the street? Nia, yeah, please hold my hand, okay? And then we're gonna look left.
And Dad is really having to be patient and remind her repeatedly how important it is that she hold his hand.
And now we can cross the street, but you have to hold my hands, okay? Okay, so we're gonna cross.
I love how this dad is so responsive to his 2-year-old. She's clearly telling him that she doesn't like the toy that he's put her on and she wants to get off.
You don't wanna try it? No, you're not ready for it? Okay.
It's such an easy place for a parent to go to be persistent. Let's keep trying. Oh, let's try it this way. And instead, he just follows her lead and moves on to the next activity.
Hold on tight, okay? Don't let go. Right.
Let go if I were you.
Set.
You can see here how this little one is really using her language so well, and Dad is hearing her. He is very responsive to the words that she's using.
Daddy, too much.
It's too much?
Okay.
Okay, I'll stop it.
Stop.
Okay, are you okay?
Yeah.
And he's there right away to respond.
Okay. You're gonna be a little dizzy.
This is a really busy 2-year-old. It's like she's very focused on just getting to what she wants to do.
Nia Sky, look at me for a second, okay? Please?
No.
Nia Sky, please just look at me. Okay. I'm gonna give you 1 more minute to play in the park, and then we're gonna go home for dinner. Okay? So what do you wanna do for the last minute before we go?
I want to do yellow.
You wanna do the yellow? This
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
One of the strategies that Dad is using at this point is he says to her, I need you to look at me. And he waits to give her the next conversation until she actually looks up, and now he's made eye contact with her. It's a way to help them calm down at a time when they're very, very excited.
So we're gonna go home now, okay? Okay, we're gonna walk
So
home.
the end of a visit to the park can sometimes be a challenging moment as well. And certainly for this little one, she does not want to go home.
Actually, you know what?
Oh,
Do you want to chase me going home, or do you want me to chase you?
I want to chase over there.
You want to chase me over there?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yeah.
Okay, chase me. Let's go.
And Dad is quite creative and quickly comes up with a way to engage her in a new activity that at the same time is actually going to get them closer to home and moving in the right direction. And this gets her moving home pretty
Okay,
quickly.
we're going home for dinner.
So all in all, a really wonderful moment for this dad and this little girl. Parents may find that they're seeing much more aggressive behavior from their 2-year-old, which is pretty typical in terms of their development. They don't have the language yet to actually express their emotion. So for them, when they're in a difficult situation, using physical aggression, hitting, biting, pinching, is how they know to get their needs met or to get what they want. But when that is happening, as a parent, you need to step in immediately, stop the behavior, remove the child, still with the child, and help the child to calm down so that you can now help that child to find the words so that you can understand what it is that he or she was feeling in that moment. Some parents may want to revert to spanking their child when there's been inappropriate behavior, misbehaving that's gone on. But you have to really think about if this is the type of strategy you want to teach your child to use when things go wrong, because that's the message they get. When life isn't going right, it's okay to get abusive with others. That concept is actually going to go with them into their adulthood. It's going to influence how they parent as well. When instead you stay calm and you have these conversations with your child about what is appropriate, what's inappropriate, why you might be upset with their behavior and how that can change, we're actually starting to build a foundation for a child, a good working memory of how to solve challenging experiences and challenging relationships throughout their life. Many people describe that 2-year-old stage as the terrible twos, and I think that it's an exciting time. Part of that is because children are so much more verbal. So I would encourage the parent of a 2-year-old to really look for every opportunity to talk with your child, to let them tell you what they're feeling, how they're seeing the world, their interpretation of the things that are going on around them, and to be really and truly engaged in those conversations with your child, because each of those conversations is a learning opportunity. It's a teachable moment for both the child and for the parent.
With your 2-year-old, remember that toddlers need to develop their independence. Show your child how to solve problems calmly. Provide age-appropriate suggestions. Help your child learn to make decisions. Acknowledge their positive behavior. Use natural consequences when it's appropriate. Redirect challenging behaviors towards acceptable activities. And try to maintain routines.